What does under the completely sufficient imputed righteousness mean? Hi, my name is Ted Rosenblatt, and I'm here with my father, Dr. Rod Rosenblatt. This is Talks with Dad Rod. Dad, this phrase is something that you've used in your email, and I've not seen it anywhere else, and I like to parade it in front of people because I can tell that it causes them to think about a number of things. It causes a little bit of quiet.
During the 16th century, the Roman Catholic Church, which was the church of the time, spoke of justification with 27 different kinds of grace, all of them real. That is, they were in you, and they were gifts, but they had to be there. And the Reformers, Luther in the beginning, began to talk about imputed righteousness or reckoned righteousness. And what he and Melanchthon meant by that was a righteousness not inhering in us so much as declared over us. I declare you righteous, says the judge. I declare you innocent. That's the imputed righteousness, and it's the only one that saves. So we argue for it for 500 years for the importance of this, that the only righteousness that saves is Christ's, and it's reckoned to us as if it were ours, and it saves. So that's why I've used that so often in my emails, especially with Roman Catholic friends, because it gnaws at them.
Well, the other part in there is totally sufficient.
Yeah.
You don't say utterly sufficient, right? You say totally sufficient. I know there's a difference.
Yeah.
It is totally sufficient. Sufficiency is a key word for us Lutherans.
Yeah, to save. It saves. The reckoned righteousness, reckoned over you, saves. And if you go looking for inhering righteousness, you'll be on a treadmill forever. That's why there's no assurance in the Roman Church. Even the Pope can't be assured he'll be saved unless he gets a direct revelation. That's a clue. If you're a Baptist thinking going Roman, you're going to give up assurance. You might want to think about that move.
Well, I read the canons, and I was like going, whoo!
Yeah.
I mean, read the canons about what it says about trusting only in Jesus Christ as your
righteousness,
as your salvation.
Yep.
Only in Jesus. Only if you believe in sola fide.
And the Roman Church officially anathematized the gospel, to quote Dr. Horton. At Trent, Rome officially anathematized the gospel.
And I know that we Lutherans tend to be accused of being mini Catholics. I still see that. It's still
we got candles
on social media. It's any number of things. I'm sure it's bells and smells is what they'll say. It's organ. It's that traditional. And I will say this. You can really see how Luther tried to not. He had no intention of peeling away from the church.
No.
And doing something different. He hated the idea of something being called Lutheran in anything.
Yep.
But he created what he ended up creating was something where we were just like, look, can we just stick with what we got? We just want to get Christ back.
Yep.
We just want to get the gospel back.
Yep.
Right? That was the main point.
And that's why Luther wasn't a revolutionary like the Anabaptists. He said, we keep whatever isn't opposed to the gospel. It stays.
So I have gone to Catholic services periodically, and so much of it I already know because it hasn't been changed since, for hundreds of years. They start doing the chants and the canticles, and these things occur, and I'm like, oh, I know this. And I could see why an outsider from another denomination would go, oh, so you guys are basically Catholics.
Yeah.
And we go, well, no.
No.
There's a big chasm between us.
Yeah. I think one of you, my children, was born the day that Luther was thrown out. One of you was born the day Luther was born, and the other one was born the day he was anathematized out of the church.
Great. I don't even want to know if I look up for my kids what that means. The names I've given them already make me uncomfortable. But yeah, that this kind of taps into this idea. I like the sufficiency line because this is something that we struggle with, both those who feel like they're winning and those who are suffering, feeling like they're losing and they're not going to do it. They're going to lose their faith. I want to believe and I can't seem to go there. Is that the sufficiency of Christ is is something that needs to be hammered on, that we need to focus on.
Yep. And how much faith in Christ saves? Answer, any.
That's a toughie. That's a toughie, because sinners have the hardest time believing.
We just heard Alistair Begg, that great Baptist, Scottish Baptist, talking about the thief being in heaven, and somebody asking him, "Why are you here?" And the thief answered, "Because the guy on the cross in the middle brought me here."
He told me I could be here.
Yeah. Did nothing.
Yeah, thanks to one of our audience members, Jim, that brought that to us.
Yep.
And said you would really enjoy that. Enjoyed it enough that it ended up here in an episode.
Yep.
So that guy on the and I know that there's different angles on the thief on the cross, but that one's right in line with what we've the direction we take it.
Yep. All we know is his sin. We don't know his belief other than, when you return, don't forget me.
And talk about a weak confession.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where, I mean, I think I have bad confession.
Just like that. I promise you'll be in paradise with me today.
And I think it's tempting to feel like, man, I wish I could get that. But we do. We do get that when we go to church. We have a faithful pastor who delivers the goods to us.
Yep.
It's right there.
And a Lord's Supper that actually does something, gives you Christ.
This is why we're Lutheran, because the Lutherans teach that these things are efficacious. They actually do something. They aren't just signs. They don't point to something else. But as Christ has spoken, and we hear in Matthew, this is the body and blood shed for the forgiveness of sins for you.
Yep.
It actually forgives sins. So it's important that it does something. That's actually really consoling to me.
Yep.
It actually does it. And it's internalized. So I get to eat and drink this to my salvation.
Yep.
And it's too simple,
Worth
isn't it?
thinking about.
But that's so simple. See, this is one of the reasons I've said that Lutheranism is one of the simplest denominations of Christianity. It just simply sticks with the text in most of the key places. There isn't a lot of extra.
We're not engineerical.
So I hope that this at least explains it. We aren't trying to make Lutherans here, but at least we can talk about how we see it, why we see it that way, and the benefits that we get from that when we're here, and why I get to enjoy that. Hope you like this. Hope this is edifying for you. Go to 1517.org for more. Check us out on social media, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on Talks with Dad Rod, part of the 1517 Podcast Network. This podcast and all 1517's content is made possible through financial support by listeners just like you. Please visit 1517.org for more, and please consider clicking on the donate button and making a recurring or one-time contribution to help us share this good news in a world which so desperately needs it.